There, it's Amy Pearl from Work Ignited, and today I am very excited to share Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst, a brand new way to create a virtual experience for your learners who want to use Everything DiSC Workplace. We are going to pack it in the next half hour or so. I want to share with you what Catalyst is. I want to show you the new platform, the new profile report, the facilitation tools, how you can administer the assessment, and then I'm going to touch on privacy, security, and some other things such as pricing. So let's dive in. DiSC has been around for 40 years. It's unbelievable, and I've been using it for at least half of those. And the mission has always been to spark meaningful culture change by empowering learners to engage, connect, and thrive. And now with Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst, you have a brand new way to engage your learners, to help them connect with one another, and to thrive in their jobs. So let me talk a little bit about Catalyst. Catalyst is an online platform that allows people to discover DiSC and their own profile, to understand others, to learn how to build relationships with other people based on DiSC profiles, to actually compare themselves to their colleagues, and to keep doing DiSC long after that initial learning intervention. Now you might say, how is this different? We've been doing those kinds of things for a long time. Well, now all of this is available online. So what's new with Catalyst? First of all, your learners will have immediate access to learning as soon as they complete their profile. So you're going to send them the link to take the assessment just as you ordinarily would. They will actually log on, creating a Catalyst account, complete their assessment, and then once that assessment is done, they'll have immediate access to tons of online learning content that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. The facilitation materials have all been designed with the virtual experience in mind. So even if you are facilitating workshops online or even still in person, they've been designed to be mini modules. 5 learning modules, 20 to 70 minutes in length, so that you can give people bite-sized chunks of learning at one time. The materials are all completely customizable, and it even works for self-guided learning if you're not going to be involved as a facilitator. And if you're using virtual facilitation tools, you will get a complete toolkit for facilitating webinars or working with your remote workers who are interested in using Everything DiSC Workplace. What's not changing is also super important. I'm going to show you a new platform. I'm going to show you some new facilitation techniques, but what will remain constant is you, the facilitator, the EPIC administrator, the people who make this process work in your organizations. You are still vitally critical to this process, and that doesn't change at all. We're just arming you with the tools that you need to succeed in today's virtual workplace. Let me take a few minutes just to show you the platform itself. I've taken some screenshots here. As I mentioned, as soon as you send your link to your users, they're going to create an account with their email and their password. Once they complete the questionnaire, the actual assessment, they'll be able to get immediate access to see their styles. So you're looking at my real screens, and you now know my secrets that I have a CD style. So I can go into the system, I can learn all about my DiSC style, see that familiar DiSC map that in a booklet has a black dot in it. I can actually upload a picture, and you can see my little emoji there, or my avatar there. And I can read all about my CD story, what makes me tick. I can actually listen to podcasts that are over an hour long, full of rich information about my particular style. And there's some things to remember, things that you probably remind your learners during an actual training class, that people are a blend of different styles, and that your work style is also influenced by other factors like life experiences, education, maturity, the same kinds of things you would discuss in a workshop with someone. Once I know my style, I can drill down even further and look at my workplace style or how my CD style reveals itself at work. So I'll learn about my motivators, my stressors. I will think about the relationships I have with other people and how I react to other people, and then get tips for how I can build better relationships with individuals. And I can even download my printed workplace profile still right from the system. I can learn more about other styles. So in this case, I've pulled up the I style, and this is completely customized or personalized just for me. So the I style to me might look emotional, talkative, naive, scattered, but your screen might say something totally different based on what your score is. And it also points out where I might be a little bit different from typical CD people based on my own questionnaire answers. I can watch videos, and these aren't scripted training videos. These are real people, in essence, real people with a lot of influence, sharing some fun facts, like if they could be any animal, what would it be? Or what's their dream superpower? And more serious topics like why do people tend to misunderstand you? Or why do you enjoy being part of a team? And this gives me a chance to really hear right from the mouths of people with that I style or S style or C style more about them. If you have research and data hounds in your organization, they can click on the discology section and learn more about the DiSC model. They'll see all the styles, the D, I, S, and C, as well as the blends, the DI, the DC, the IS, the ID. They can learn more about those combinations. They can look at DiSC research, drill down into the DiSC theory, the history, really immerse themselves in DiSC. And one of my favorite parts is this people option. For the people option, what you can do is you can go into the system and you can connect with anyone that's in your organization. So I can search the system by style or by department in my organization, and it'll show me my coworkers' DiSC scores. Once I find that person, I can see their style, learn more about them. I can compare us and see that in this case, my friend Laura is a very high I, where I'm, in that CD zone. So how do our priorities differ? I can look and see where we're similar and where we're different. And I can drill down even further to get tips for how do I manage conflict when we're working together? How do I make better connections with her? How do I collaborate more effectively with her? Or if I'm trying to influence her and get her buy-in, what technique can I use? So the platform is really amazing, and it's all right at your fingertips as soon as you complete your questionnaire. Plus, everything is mobile friendly, so I can do this on a computer, my phone, my tablet, wherever I am. I can learn about DiSC and I can connect with my coworkers. Now, what's not changing? Catalyst is the front-end system for learners. Epic is still for use behind the scenes for administrators in an organization. So you'll continue to use Epic to order your reports or to sign someone up for Catalyst or to print reports, just as you've always done before. Now, let me take a minute to talk about the assessment process. When someone takes Everything DiSC Workplace today, they only answer the questions necessary for the workplace profile. Then, if a few months later you decide you'd like to use management with them, productive conflict, agile EQ, you have to send them another link and they have to answer some additional questions, and then you can print that additional report. With Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst, your learners are going to take one assessment that will include the questions from these 4 most popular reports. That way, if you want to use an additional report with someone down the road, they don't have to take an additional assessment. That's going to make the questionnaire a little bit longer. Today, we tell people it's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to complete the assessment. With Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst, it now is going to take about 20 to 30 minutes. And if someone already has an Everything DiSC workplace in your system or management, productive conflict, agile EQ, they're just going to get asked a few supplemental questions if they want to move into Everything DiSC workplace on Catalyst. And that upgrade questionnaire takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Just one word on pricing. If you do want to order additional reports for someone, the regular credit costs still apply to those additional reports. It's just that assessment process is becoming much more streamlined for your learners. Now, you can also use existing data, really just as you can today, but some of you might not know this. If I actually have someone who's already done Everything DiSC workplace, what I can do is I can go on the system and say, I want them to now have access to Catalyst. So in Epic, I would pick product family, Everything DiSC, and then the product is Catalyst with Workplace. Then when I get to that screen where I typically just type in their name and email, I'm going to click on this tab that says Use an Existing Report. So I want to start with their existing report that's already on the system. I'll search their name, and then the options will come up, and I'll pick the person that I'm looking for, and that will then queue up the system to launch an email to her to invite her to join Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst. Now, a couple of little twists just for you to know. If you are familiar with the Epic system, you know that you can set your reports to be viewable by the learner as soon as they complete their assessment or not. In the past, I've typically set that to no because I liked that element of surprise that when the person got to the classroom, they got their report and they got to see themselves and everyone was getting their results for the first time and they would share and laugh and dialogue around it. Well, that works out great unless I want them to have immediate access on Catalyst. So because I want them to have immediate access to their results and their report, this is going to default to yes. That view is going to always default to yes, and you can't change it for Catalyst. If you're using other reports or you don't want them to have Catalyst, you just want to use Workplace the old-fashioned way, you can still make it no. But if they're going to use Catalyst, it has to say yes. And you also have to confirm that they actually do work at the organization that's going to connect them to all their coworkers. But the process is almost exactly the same as ordering a report today. Speaking of the report, let me take a few minutes just to walk you through some of the changes that you will see in the Everything DiSC Workplace report on Catalyst. Now you're going to know it's a Catalyst report because you can see at the top, it's just going to say your DiSC profile, whereas the older Workplace report says Everything DiSC Workplace on it. So the cover is a little bit different, but the initial pages are going to look very similar. You're going to learn about the DiSC model on page 1. You're going to get the overview of your style. You're going to get your circle map. You can read about your style in detail. That hasn't changed at all. My favorite page in the report, which is page 7. I love this page, and if you've trained with me, you know that I always tell you to rip this page out, hang it on your wall, because if you know this page, you know everybody on the planet. That's sort of shifted. It used to be page 7, now it's page 4. So if you're familiar with the workplace profile, you can just download the new profile that goes with Catalyst right from the comments section in this YouTube video and just see how the pages have shifted around. Those motivators and stressors are still in there. Excellent exercise for getting people to think about, do they have what motivates them in their work and how can they capitalize on that? Do they have what stresses them out at work and how can they eliminate those stressors or work around them? And something that has been brought up to a more forward position in the report is this strategies for effectiveness page. It's going to be right after the motivators and stressors. This used to be buried way at the back of the report. And quite frankly, a lot of times, like I never even got to it when I was doing a workshop. But what it looks at is 3 ideas for improvement or 3 ideas for you to be more effective based on your style. And by moving that up in the report, that whole first module is now self-contained. I learn about DiSC, I learn about myself, I really drill down and think about my style at work and how I can be more effective. before I move on to the next modules having to do with other people. Some of the pages when you get to those next modules are going to look exactly the same. How do you react to the D style? What are their motivators? It goes through I, S, and C. Then it gives you tips for connecting with other people. And of course, that personalized style index that tells you everything you need to know about every combination on the planet. So the report for Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst is very similar to the traditional workplace report. There's just some subtle changes that I wanted you to be aware of. If you're a supplemental report user, they are still available with Catalyst. You can get your facilitator report. It's been completely rebranded. It is beautiful and full of a ton of information. The group culture report that's going to tell you about the team culture based on the people that you put into that profile. And of course, the free team view, that report that gives you a snapshot of everyone's DiSC map. And that's a completely free report and it still exists. So yay, I'm very excited about all of these things if you can't tell by the tone of my voice. Something that you will not have with the Catalyst version of Workplace is the ability to create comparison reports in Epic, because now there is no need to complete comparison reports for people because they can go right onto Catalyst to create their own comparisons with their coworkers. So hopefully that alleviates a little bit of the burden for you having to run those comparison reports for people. What's really, really new are the facilitation materials. So I want to walk you through some of those because these facilitation materials, if you already own an Everything DiSC Workplace Facilitation Kit, are completely free, and I can show you how to download those when you're ready to do so. So let's dive in. With the Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst facilitation process, it is designed to support your virtual facilitation efforts. So I am recording this in July of 2020. So we're just all getting back to work from the COVID shutdown and hoping that we're all going to stay back to work. But we do know that there are many, many people working remotely. And because of social distancing, we need to figure out how to facilitate virtually. And prior to a few months ago, I never ran a webinar. I did all my sessions live. So when this Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst dropped out of the sky into our laps, we just embraced it because everybody now wants to do things virtually. So just so you kind of get the big picture, you will continue to use Zoom or WebEx or GoToMeeting or Microsoft Team, whatever you're going to use to actually facilitate your webinar or your session and bring people together. You will continue to use that platform, but your participants can also be logged on simultaneously to Catalyst. So you can have them be going back and forth between your webinar and their own self-study materials to really drill down, to watch custom videos, to get custom insight about their style. Or, maybe they're watching your webinar on their computer and they've got their phone and they're looking at Catalyst that way. I've even thought about this because people have been calling me about for some ideas about how do you do in-person sessions while respecting social distancing. And you could absolutely have people bring their laptops or bring their phones with them and some earbuds and kind of do some things with Catalyst right during the session following these facilitation materials. So you're going to have people log on to Catalyst while they're also watching your webinar. Now, the facilitation tools are set up based on your level of sophistication as it pertains to running webinars. So if you use basic web tools like just screen sharing and a chat feature, there's ideas for that. If you're using more advanced tools like polling, breakout rooms, whiteboards, there's suggested activities for that. So whatever your level of sophistication is, the facilitation materials will help you to deliver a very robust session for your learners. Now, before I dive into how it's structured, I just want to do a quick review of what the typical facilitation process looks like. So if you're running a DiSC workshop, you probably start with telling them about the DiSC model. You might do that card sort or something like that to get them familiar with the model. Then people explore their styles. Then they think about other people, and then they learn how to adapt their style to build better relationships. And depending on the nature of the workplace, you might pull a different report. So you might pull workplace if they're thinking about coworkers, management if they're thinking about direct reports, sales if they're thinking about customers. Productive conflict tells you about your reaction in conflict. And Agile EQ is a beautiful new report if you haven't seen it yet. That looks at emotional intelligence, your natural mindset, and those stretch mindsets to use to really build great relationships. Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst and these facilitation materials right now is specifically designed to go with workplace. Our goal is that if this is successful and well received, management, productive conflict, agile EQ, those other tools will also be supported by Catalyst. So right now it's just for workplace, but use it, love it, and hopefully Wiley will build those other support mechanisms very soon. So workplace. Remember, here's our screen that you're using on Catalyst. Everything is designed to go together. So your virtual facilitation process will start with your DiSC style. There's a fundamentals module where I'll really drill down and learn more about my style. That takes about an hour. Then there's that people component, a 20-minute module that looks at how can you connect with your coworkers and get the most out of the system. Then there's 3 modules designed for workplace. One about how you work, one about understanding your relationships at work, and one for building better relationships. And each is set up to be an hour. Now, this gives you, in essence, 5 mini modules that you could work through with your learners or your coaching folks that you have. But you don't have to use them all. You can mix and match them. You can make some a little bit more self-study focused. You can have them do some pre-work on the fundamentals and then bring a team together to look at understanding relationships and building better relationships. It's a total mix and match system, and again, can be customized for exactly what you're trying to do with your learners. And I want to show you just a couple of the exercises that are in the system. In fact, the PowerPoint screens that I'm using are all right from the facilitation materials. I just customized all the screens I've used so far for this webinar, but this one is one right out of the kit. So the kit will share with you some ideas for polling and how you can use the polling feature of your webinar systems that you're using. There's some whiteboarding activities. So for example, I can give them that very basic construct of the DiSC model and get them thinking about, well, how do you see yourself? And have your participants put some check marks or dots. Just as you would if you gave them sticky dots on a whiteboard or a flip chart paper, you can now do it on your virtual whiteboard. There's some great introduction videos, and one of the neatest features that if you haven't figured this out yet, I absolutely love, is to post links to videos in your chat boxes. And what that allows you to do is everyone in your session mutes themselves and then watches a video on their own computer or on their phone or iPad, whatever they're watching your webinar on. And because they're all muted, nobody can hear you watching it, but everyone's taking away kind of their own insight and watching those videos independently. And because with Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst, the videos are all hosted for you. You don't have to worry about buffering, you don't have to worry about sound quality, or any of those things that just trip you up if you haven't tried using video over webinars yet. Let me head it off at the pass. Don't make those mistakes. Use these hosted video links. You also can have people go into Catalyst and look at videos that might be just relevant for them. I want to share with you something that I did at a workshop the other day, and I couldn't believe how well it went. I wanted my learners to sort of choose their own adventure, choose the style that they wanted to learn more about. And what I did is I actually had just used the chat box. I put in a video with a dominant person, then one for influence, one for steadiness, one for conscientiousness. And I said, pick the one you'd like to watch. So everybody mute yourself, pick the video you'd like to watch, and then come back and I want to hear your takeaways from that. And it was amazing. Some people chose to watch a person that was just like them, and they wanted to understand their own style. Other people said, I've got a meeting with a guy this afternoon who's different from me, so I'm going to watch that right now so I get some immediate tips that I can put into practice. So I couldn't believe that how robust the discussion was after they got to choose their own video. I did that with chat box videos, but you could also send them right into Catalyst to watch the videos that are meaningful for them. I put a link to one of the videos down in the comment section of this video, so go ahead, click on it, watch it. You'll see they're very professionally done, very robust. There's ideas for generating group discussion, which you know is so hard in a virtual setting. There's some good ideas for prompting discussion and getting people to participate, as well as some self-reflection activities like this one. You know, write down 3 things your colleagues should know about working with you, and it gives people a chance to really reflect. And of course, there's homework. What are your next steps? In this case, the example is pick one of your colleagues that's in your people directory, get to know them, review the Build Better Relationships information for their style, and then identify tips for working more effectively with that individual. It's all right in the kit. Fully scripted modules, customizable PowerPoints, lots of activities, polls, and those hosted video links. You can't go wrong. Couple of quick questions as we're heading into the home stretch, kind of wrapping up in this session. Lots of people have asked, can I link this to my learning management system? The answer is, it totally depends. This is a screenshot of our learning experience platform called Spoke. I was able to create a custom tab. I plunked in the URL connection that takes me right to Catalyst, and magically the screen just appeared. So it worked super easily on my system. I can't guarantee if you're using Workday or something else that it's going to be that easy, but give me a call. We'll try it and see if it works. What if someone leaves my organization? Another really important question, because they have access to all their coworkers. And if they leave your organization, do you want to allow them to continue to have access to their coworker information? That's totally up for you to decide. If you decide no, you do have an option to just delete them completely from the system, but that is going to delete everything. All of their reports, it's like they didn't even exist. And I don't necessarily recommend that option, because you never know when you might want to look at that person's report, or maybe they come back to work for you and all the data would be lost. So there's also an option where you can simply restrict their access by deleting their access code to Catalyst. That way their records are still on your system, but their access is deleted. And once in a blue moon, people call us and ask if we can transfer their report from their old company to their new company, because we've got so many people that move around and we've got so many clients that are using DiSC that they want to take their data with them. And if you're willing to do that for your former employees, you can just call your authorized partner and they'll help you make that transfer. Questions on privacy and security, right? That's top of mind for everyone these days. I have to tell you that our partners at Wiley are simply amazing. When it comes to security, they are cautious, they are thoughtful, and they take security very, very seriously. So every aspect of everything DiSC on Catalyst has been designed with these security standards in mind. The European General Data Protection Regulations, the Privacy Shield certification and Trust e-seal is on everything. The California Consumer Privacy Act is covered here. Wiley has a robust risk management program, a 24/7 response team, backup centers. They do monthly tests for hacking vulnerability. I mean, it is an intensely secure process and system. And remember, that people sharing component is just by organization. So it's all just confined to your folks on your teams. Let's talk just a little bit about process and pricing, and then we'll wrap it up. If you have people who have an Everything DiSC workplace report in your system, or even an old DiSC Classic report, they can get access to Catalyst for free. Yay! Confetti in the air. They just have to take about 5 to 10 minutes to answer those questions, because remember that assessment is more comprehensive now, and then they'll have immediate access to Catalyst. If you have a new learner who's just taking Everything DiSC Workplace for the first time and you want them to do it with Catalyst, that assessment's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes and it will cost 15 credits, which is exactly the same as your regular workplace profile costs today. And if somebody has a different profile like Agile EQ, Productive Conflict, Everything DiSC Management, Everything DiSC Sales, they can upgrade to Everything DiSC Workplace on Catalyst, again by taking a few extra minutes to answer some supplemental questions, and then they will pay 15 credits because they're a new workplace user. This pricing is in effect through December 31st of 2020. So if you're watching this in 2021, Happy New Year, and give us a call for current pricing. Facilitation. If you own an Everything DiSC Workplace facilitation kit, you can get all of the Catalyst facilitation materials absolutely free. Yay, more free stuff. All you need to do beginning next week, which is July 14th, is go to the Everything DiSC registration site. I will include a link to that right down in the comments below. And you just need your Everything DiSC Workplace box or the user guide that's inside that has the long registration number on it. And if you go to the registration site and put in your registration number, you'll be able to download all of the facilitation materials, the scripts, the PowerPoints, the hosted video links for free. If you don't have an Everything DiSC Workplace facilitation kit, because you never got a kit when you got trained, or maybe you have a different kit, we can get that kit for you, or you can get it from your authorized partner. If you don't work with us, just give them a call. The price of that is $14.95. You can also order it on our Work Ignited store. Again, I'll pop a link down below so you can do that. And if you buy one of those kits today, just to make it a little easier for you to get started with Catalyst, we're going to give you 60 credits, which is enough to run 5 new workplace users through Catalyst. And that gives you a chance to experiment and practice. Now, if you're not certified or trained, or you need some stuff, give us a call. We host an Everything DiSC on Catalyst Train the Trainer program. We can get you up to speed very quickly. You can do it in one of our open workshops with other people, or even if you want to get a small group of people together, or even a large group of people together from your own organization who want to learn to be facilitators, we can certainly set that up for you. So, what's stopping you? Give it a try. If you're an Epic user and you have a workplace report or another report on file already, sign yourself up for Catalyst. Go in, check it out, play with it, learn, experiment. If you've got that workplace kit, get online to the registration site, download the facilitation materials, and have some fun with it. You will absolutely love it. And if you need help getting started, you're not working with an authorized partner today, or you want to kind of learn more about this, please email me, amy@workignited.com. I am always here to help you get the most from your Everything DiSC investment. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a fabulous day.